The mother of a man on death row is making one final plea to save his life. We're live at the state capitol with the story. Plus, the state legislature is back for a special session. Find out what they're discussing. And sunny today, but cooler weather is headed our way. This is OU Nightly. Good evening. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Mecca Thompson.
And I'm Libbey Dean. We begin tonight with a mother's quest to save her son's life.
Julius Jones, a former OU student, sits on death row tonight. He was found guilty of murder in 1999 and sentenced to death.
But a few weeks ago, the Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board recommended clemency for Jones. The final decision belongs to Governor Kevin Stitt.
A nationwide movement is working to prevent Jones's execution, which is set for Thursday, November 18th.
And tonight, it's his mother sitting outside the governor's office asking for her son's life to be spared. OU Nightly's Kayla Davis is live at the state capitol with the story. Kayla?
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the Oklahoma State Capitol building where supporters for Julius Jones are putting pressure on the governor to make a decision and grant him clemency before his November 18th execution date. Right now, supporters are standing outside the governor's office, and we'll give you guys a look at that. They are standing there putting pressure for him to make a decision. They're wondering where he's at, what is he going to decide. Earlier today, the family and many other supporters carrying signs and giving each other hugs have been here all day, and we're not sure how long they will be here. Hugs between the family members, and they were praying, a lot of hoping that the governor will make a decision before later on this week. Kayla, thanks guys. That's all we have for right now. Kayla Davis, OU Nightly.
A large crowd at the state capitol today as the Oklahoma legislature convenes a special session. The goal is to approve new districts for the state's legislative and congressional representatives. The proposed new map places a large portion of Democratic precincts in the Republican 3rd District. Democrats have criticized the new congressional maps as a clear example of gerrymandering, particularly in the proposed new 5th District. But Republicans say their map protects military bases. The House and Senate met briefly for procedural votes on bills containing the new maps that will be in effect for the next 10 years. Lawmakers hope to conclude their work by the end of the week.
Some tense moments in Colorado today as a shooting sends 5 teenagers to the hospital. Catherine Liberta has the latest on that and the rest of today's news from across the country. Catherine?
Thanks, Mecca. We've been following this breaking story all afternoon. We know 5 teens are in the hospital after a shooting at a Colorado park. Police in Aurora responded this afternoon to Nome Park, where teens ranging from ages 14 to 17 had been shot. The nearby high school has been placed on lockdown, although police say the shooting did not happen inside the building. The suspect is still at large, and we'll have an update for you later on in the newscast. Closing arguments are underway in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse is claiming self-defense after shooting 3 men last year in Kenosha, Wisconsin, killing 2 and injuring the other. In closing arguments, the prosecution argued Rittenhouse cannot claim self-defense against a self-created danger. This morning, Judge Bruce Schroeder dismissed count 6 of the indictment against Rittenhouse, a misdemeanor charge for possession of a dangerous weapon as a minor. Rittenhouse still faces 5 felony charges. And a 9-year-old boy has died from injuries sustained at the Astroworld Festival. This brings the event's death toll to 10. The boy, Ezra Blunt, had been in a medically induced coma to try and heal brain, liver, and kidney damages, according to the family attorney. While at the concert, Ezra had been on his father's shoulders, but as people pushed forward, his father passed out and Ezra fell into the crowd. He was later taken to the Texas Children's Hospital, where doctors say he had suffered cardiac arrest along with other injuries. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner offered his condolences to the family on Twitter Sunday. And Libbey and Mecca, the longest-serving U.S. Senator still in office, Patrick Leahy, announced he will not seek re-election. The Vermont Democrat has been serving in chamber since 1975. Back to you.
Even though flu season is in full swing, Oklahoma has not seen a drop in COVID numbers. There are 986 new cases in the state today. Oklahoma currently has a total of 7,228 active cases and approximately 11,000 deaths. And it's a lot warmer than it usually is around this time of year.
It is, and Juliana Mejia joins us live with a first look at this week's high temperatures.
Hey guys, it's been an absolutely gorgeous Monday out here. We've been over 10 degrees warmer than our average for November 15th. We peaked at about 73 degrees. We're already losing those values in temperature. We're at about 72 currently right now. Tomorrow may even grant us the opportunity to whip out the shorts and ditch the flannels for the day. We're going to be near 80 degrees tomorrow, so over nearly 20 degrees warmer than average for mid-fall. And I'll have all the details on how long that's going to last us, because going into Wednesday, we are expecting a cold front to come through that will only bring us back to our average conditions again for mid-fall, fortunately. But I'll have all the details on how long those falling temperatures will last us at the end of the week, so certainly enjoy these beautiful conditions while they last. Mecca, Libbey, back to you.
After months of negotiations on the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, President Joe Biden signed the legislation today at the White House.
Plus, how recent supply chain issues could change what's on your grocery list.
We still have live coverage from the state capitol right now from Kayla Davis outside of Julius Jones's. His mother
Yes.
is outside of Governor Kevin Stitt's office pleading for her son.
Yes,
Kayla?
Kayla Davis joins us live. Excuse me.
The group of supporters, friends, family, all of Julius Jones are still right outside the governor's office. They're waiting and demanding an answer from him, from the governor, on whether he will grant clemency for Julius Jones before his execution date for later this week. We don't know how long they'll be there, but they're waiting until they get a response from the governor. Back to you guys.
Grocery stores and products are at high demand and food prices are steadily increasing. Roddy will tell us more in Money Matters.
President Joe Biden just signed a $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill in a ceremony at the White House. The new bill passed earlier this month is set to deliver $550 billion of new federal investments. This includes money for roads, bridges, airports, as well as several $billions to improve electric grid and water systems. Members of Congress, governors, and mayors were in attendance. In California, gas prices hit a new record for the second day in a row. Prices are up $4.68, which broke the all-time record set back in 2012. Doug Shoup, a AAA spokesperson, stated that drivers are paying $21 more than this time last year for a full tank. The prices of crude oil have been rising due to the pent-up demand from the pandemic, causing gas prices to spike. And Wall Street banks are warning that prices will continue to go up. And since the beginning of the pandemic, there has been a higher demand for grocery store products. Supply chain issues and lack of inventory is causing food prices to rise. With prices at their highest levels in over a decade, grocery shopping is becoming more of a concern for many college students. According to a survey done by the Food Industry Association, more than half of consumers are worried about rising prices and are substituting products or simply putting some away. And if you're looking to purchase a Christmas tree this holiday season, be ready to spend a little more green. Due to droughts all over the country, tree shortages are on the rise. That's all from me. Back to you.
Norman residents had the chance to take part in an effort to clean up the city over the weekend. All people wanting to dispose of any unwanted paint had the ability to do so.
And I'm hoping for some cooler weather later this week. Juliana, what should we be anticipating?
It's been an unseasonably warm day, as it will tomorrow as well. Be ready for that cold front to come through Wednesday. We'll have all the details coming up in the full forecast. OU Nightly. Look at this OKC skyline here, basking in the sunshine. It's been an absolutely stunning day. We're still sitting at 72 degrees right now. We peaked at about 73, and so we're just steadily cooling off. Those winds are from the south-southwest, pretty breezy. You can see that dew point coming in rather dry at 44 degrees, and pretty much countrywide we're seeing very dry conditions, as low of relative humidity out in Albuquerque at 15%, 12%. Out there in Phoenix, we're coming in at about 35. Areas like Seattle, however, are seeing bounds of moisture, and far up north, even Chicagoland area, coming in at 75% with that relative humidity. Luckily, it's still dry and comfortable for us here. And if you were out and about this past Saturday, it was a beautiful sunset. We had lots of people share beautiful, beautiful pictures. This is from Colin Welty, an awesome shot. This is my own picture from my backyard from Saturday night sunset. We sure love those Oklahoma sunsets. Nothing better, really. And talking about those dry conditions, so again, really why we're seeing that here is because of this dry line parked just out west of the state, and that's really been lingering. It's going to continue to linger, and you can see going into, this is now Tuesday early morning, we have a relatively still warm overnight and early morning, and then that swell, additional warmth coming through for our Tuesday afternoon before this cold front sweeps through. And you can see even early Wednesday, for the most part, early Wednesday morning, we hang on to some of that warmth, but then that really pushes and sinks through. Come Thursday now, going into Thursday evening, we still have high pressure that comes behind this with all that sinking air that the cold air brings. That's going to keep things clear. It's going to keep skies sunny and beautiful. But again, talking about tonight, we are still above average. These conditions are going to last through tomorrow. So even our lows are relatively warm for this time of year. We're coming in at about 42 degrees here in Norman, 44 up in OKC. Talking about these warmer than average conditions, again, tomorrow is going to be nearly 20 degrees warmer than average, as that average is normally 61 degrees. We're going to see in the upper 70s tomorrow, those lows normally in the upper 30s. Talking about tomorrow, we do have some winds, gusty winds that we're expecting. So with the dry conditions and the winds up in the northwest corner of the state, we do have elevated conditions for some fire weather that is possible, especially western, northwestern Texas as well. But again, tomorrow coming in the upper 70s, those lows still mild into the Wednesday morning hours, and then really we see that cold front give us a dip in our temperatures, really just returning again to average conditions for mid-fall. Come Thursday, lasting us through Friday, but then we start to warm back up a little bit more with a weaker cold front on Saturday, so we'll have beautiful game day conditions. Overall, just a quiet, pleasant fall week for us.
We're going back to the state capitol now with more news about the Julius Jones case.
The governor has seen the letter from Julius Jones's mom where they are asking for him to Julius Jones's mom wrote a letter to the governor asking him to grant clemency. Governor says he has seen this letter and now he is taking it under consideration. That's all we know right now. Back to you guys.
Norman residents had the opportunity to safely dispose of waste over the weekend.
The City of Norman partnered with Clean Earth to collect these paint products in a safe and controlled environment. According to the Environmental and Sustainability Manager for the City of Norman, these paint products are hazardous for the environment.
Liquid paint, that either latex, which is a water-based, or oil-based paint going into the dumps, whether it's a transfer station or the landfills, just because it can leach into the ground and then go into the groundwater or contaminate the soil.
In January of 2022, a permanent household hazardous waste facility will be built for Norman residents so they can drop off their unused paint at any time of the year.
Kenzie, it's no secret the Sooners took a tough loss to Baylor on Saturday, but on the bright side, OU men's basketball is doing pretty well, right?
Yeah, that's right, Mecca. The Sooners did take a tough fall to Baylor. We'll talk about that. Plus, men's basketball is dominating so far this season. Stay tuned because sports is next. Welcome back to OU Nightly, I'm Kenzie Iserman, and it is time for sports. Last Saturday, OU took on Baylor in Waco, and things did not go as planned. The Sooners' winning streak of 17 was snapped by Baylor. Ben Thomas and Kayla Tingelstad were there in person for the action.
Hey everybody, Ben Thomas alongside Kayla Tingelstad coming to you from McLean Stadium after the Sooners were upset by the Baylor Bears, 27-14. Now, Kaylee, it really just was not the Sooners' day today.
No, it was a poorly played game, poorly coached game on all ends. Lincoln Riley was outcoached. The players just did not look their strongest. Before the game, there was a report that the Sooners are looking the healthiest they've ever been this season, and that just did not seem evident after this game. It was a wipe. The Sooners were barely on the offensive side of the ball, could not seem to get those first downs. We even saw Spencer Rattler come into the game, Caleb Williams with that hand injury, Caleb Kelly out with an injury. It was just not the Sooners' day at all.
No, and like you mentioned, Spencer Rattler stepped in for Caleb Williams at one point during this game because Caleb was getting eaten alive out there and had no help around the offense. And the defensive side of the ball, a team usually good for their rush defense, gave up over 200 rushing yards to this Baylor team today. Totally outplayed by Dave Aranda and the Baylor Bears, as now the Sooners look to head back home to play Iowa State next week. Should be a good matchup. For Kayla Tingelstad, I'm Ben Thomas coming to you from McLean Stadium.
Some former Sooners shined in the NFL this weekend, starting off with Jalen Hurts. Hurts played incredibly well. He finished 16 for 23 for 178 yards with 2 touchdowns against the Broncos. Up next, Baker Mayfield. Unfortunately, Mayfield got injured in the third quarter and was pulled from the rest of the game. Lastly, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was explosive on the field. He finished with 6 catches for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns against Atlanta. Men's basketball dominated the Roadrunners at home. The Sooners shot 39 of 57 for the game. Jalen Hill scored 6 points and pulled down 11 rebounds. OU won 96-44. Women's basketball coach Jenny scored big at their last game against Arkansas State. 6 Sooners scored 10 points or more, giving the ladies about a 49% field goal percentage. OU put up 101 points to Arkansas State's 89. Coach Jenny was also named ESPN's Women's Basketball National Coach of the Week. That's all for sports. OU Nightly will be right back after this.
I'm Amaya Ward at the OU Nightly Update Desk. We have some breaking news coming into the newsroom from Vance Air Force Base. The base is reporting it is suspending all inbound traffic right now. The base says a bomb threat was just received just before 4 p.m. The military says it will take all threats seriously unless it can be proven otherwise. That's all from the Update Desk. Back to you.
Another breaking story we have been following all day.
Julius Jones' family camped out at the governor's office, pleading with him to spare his life. He's scheduled to be executed on Thursday for a murder his supporters say he did not commit.
Here's a live look at the group up at the state capitol in Oklahoma City, where some group members are still gathered. Jones's family sent a representative into the governor's office about 15 minutes ago. They say the governor told him he had received the letter they wrote and would not be making any comments to the family or its supporters at this time. Governor Stitt met with the family of Paul Howell last week. His family says they felt like the meeting was productive. We will follow this story and bring you the latest as it develops. Jones is set to be executed on Thursday.
And over the weekend, Taylor Swift released her new version of the 2012 album Red. And just as fans didn't think it could get any better, 2 fan favorites, Blake Lively and Swift, joined together releasing a music video.
Lively directed the music video for the song I Bet You Think About Me, and it has over 30 million views on YouTube and is #1 on trending for music.
And this weather is starting to feel a bit bipolar. One week it's freezing, the next it's hot. Will we be seeing any steady temperatures soon, Juliana?
No promises, Libby. We are warm today, we're warm tomorrow, and then even going into the rest of the week, we're going to see that cold front come through on Wednesday, cool us off for a little bit before we warm up yet again. Overall, beautiful conditions. We really can't complain too much.
Thanks for tuning in to OU Nightly. We're live every weekday from Gaylord Hall on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow, live at 4:30. Good night.